Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday morning art talk. Today's art talk discussion is, what are you doing for your own personal growth? All right, that's a question I ask because I mentioned it to my students this past week that my biggest sense of nervousness that I have for the majority of artists that are going to schools and just trying, learning and all that is just, I don't feel enough people are super duper 100% committed truly to this. I think there's thousands upon thousands of artists out there, all sort of clamoring, wanting just to get there into the studios, get freelance jobs, get into art. We're born into this. We can't help this. We can't control this. We may be doing other jobs in life right now, but we have that itch that's just like, I just want to draw. I want to be an artist. I'm not maybe sure what I want to do, but it's what I want to do. And it's about trying to really dedicate yourself and be true to this and follow through with this. And I remember when I was teaching at Cal Arts, and not only were my classes were so daggone crowded, there, but the level of just people that just didn't do their work, that just didn't do their assignments, that just sort of rolled into class, and I could tell they just crapped the stuff out half the time. I don't understand it, and I think there's, it would sort of like irritate me. I had the diehards, I had the people who were committed, and I knew they were committed and they weren't just showing up and doing it the last second. So I could tell there were those people who were doing it the last second. They clearly weren't putting in the effort. And I know, sometimes, and I'm not going to blame it all on the art school system, but a lot of it, these guys everyone's in all these different classes all the time. They got so many things that it's almost they don't have a chance to honestly fully grow, because they get tired, they're worn out. Granted, there are those people who say, I want to do design, and other people who they have to take the class because it's part of the curriculum. You're sort of forced into it. That's always the worst case scenario. I don't care if you got to do a class in storyboarding or Maya or whatever else you're doing. If you don't really passionate about it and the academics, and you're thrown into it and you have to do it, how are you going to do anything effectively? You're not going to do it effectively. It's not what you desire. It's not what you're chasing. So I think there was always a danger in that. But for your own personal growth, it's really making that commitment and doing things repetitively over and over again. And I think that's where my compassion lies, in wanting to help artists and try, because I see the struggle. I see how many people are going through the struggle of wanting to get better and improve. But this is why I say to you, you have to truly find what it is that you want to do to help you grow. Again, you can't be doing 50 billion things. It just doesn't work. So you have to make that outline. You have to truly make a commitment to yourself of a daily routine and a daily schedule that my number one goal is to become a better character designer. So if my number one goal is to become a better character designer, well, I got to get damn good at drawing people. I got to get damn good at observation. I got to get damn good at construction. I got to get damn good at doing facial expressions and incorporating attitudes into people. And these are the things that are going to be requested and required and in your portfolio, and it has to be seen. You just don't want to see it can't just be average. And what happens is if you're not truly putting in the effort and the time, you're just going to be average. And you don't want to be average amongst the thousands of people that, in all honesty, you're competing against on a daily basis. So the real hard is for your own personal growth is setting up that regimen, setting up that routine, but doing things effectively and making sure that you're not just, again, I've talked about this many times, you're not just drawing just to draw, but I'm drawing for 30 minutes every day. Yeah, but you're not drawing the right things. You're not observing the right things. You're not putting that sort of, practice. Maybe you struggle at, again, the drawing the hands, drawing facial expressions. These are daily practices that unfortunately have to, put into. It can't just be an every other sort of day thing or when I get around to it sort of thing. I think if you have that I'll get around to it mentality, I just don't see the big future, in this. And I got to be honest with you. That's again, my biggest fear that I want to just ingrain into you. If you're truly serious about this, because it's possible and you can get into this field in some sort of way, you can build up that sort of, clientele into the future. It can happen, and that's just one area of it. So one area is truly not only getting good and being effective and taking the, being persistent and working on your growth and watering that plant and watering that seed. And eventually, you're going to have what happens in bad weather. Well, sometimes the waters and the plants get overwatered, right? And they die, because it's almost too much. So what is that? That's the burnout. That's when you're doing it so much that you get burnt out and you don't even want to do it anymore. So you got to find your own pace of moderation, and that's up to you to discover for yourself as you're working on this. So, really think about that. And as you're working on this, this plan, just realize the next thing is, because I see so much talent out there too, and I go, sheesh, this person doesn't even need to work any harder at trying to get better at their own personal growth on their artwork, but where they need to grow right now is getting better at their marketing skills. They need to try to figure that aspect out, because there's people who have no concept or no idea just how to promote themselves, how to market themselves, how to get their stuff, out there and even do it effectively to where people are going to want to partake in that. That's a whole nother beast within itself. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects to this. Is it easy just to absolutely try to get that job, really work and build up that portfolio, get that job, get that right portfolio, get it in front of the right person, make the right contacts, network, do all this stuff and maybe get a job and then find yourself planted at a studio for the next 15 years? It's possible. It can happen. And you're going to go on that journey. But, the most important thing is, you have to do this for yourself. You have to figure out your regimen. You have to figure out your growth formula and what that's going to entail. You've heard me say it before, I'm not a huge believer in studying 50 billion things at once, because how can you retain that information? It makes no sense. It's like you got to commit. You know, it's interesting, and it's like what we've done on with schoolism, which is interesting, where we have these subscriptions now. And what's interesting to me is I think it's a great concept, but what scares me about, you know, again, sometimes about these certain things is, and because I talk to people about it all the time, people are doing, say, the subscription, they're taking the classes, and they'll do a class and they'll do it for 3 days, and they don't even give it a chance. And then they jump onto another class, and then they jump onto another class, and they jump onto another class. How are you learning? How are you learning? Go through with these. Go through with the subscriptions. Go through with how, you know, we're doing this. But do the assignments. Watch the whole thing through. Commit. Stop jumping ship every 2 minutes. You gotta go from one destination, and if I jump on a boat going somewhere or a plane, I want to know that that plane is getting me to my destination. And I got to be there for the full, if I'm going to Japan or something else, for the full 15-hour flight. There's no getting off halfway, layover. I don't want to be on a plane where I got 50, 20 layovers. You know how much that would suck if I got to be on 20 different layovers? You don't want that in your art. You got to see it all the way through. So the biggest line is in order to have your growth, you have to commit. You got to stick with it all the way and stop going all over the place. Commit to this certain craft. Say that this is what you're going to do. Maybe it's not going to work out, but how do you know until you try it? So follow that persistence. Just work on this. But I think try to stay the course. This is how one grows. This is the secret formula to growth, is commitment on that particular thing. Then you can grow in many different areas. I can try to learn different disciplines, but whoa, horsey, slow it down and commit to that. And because maybe you struggle again at even doing construction. So if you can't even construct a character, how can you effectively come up with a bunch of concepts that look appealing? If, your ideas, your rough sketches, those loose things may be great, but you got to finish it too. So if you want to be a production designer, what does a production designer mean? What does that entail? Well, that means not only do you have to come up with concepts that are going to be loose, that are going to be cruddy, that are going to be organic and just like messy, but can you take those drawings and finish them? And see it all the way through and put a cleanup line on it, because that's what you're going to have to do in most cases. You have to be able to showcase your work, and so you got to grow at maybe just getting better at your cleanup. So these are the things that, just really working on your own growth, for your own self-improvement, and it becomes a regimen, a routine, like going to the gym or doing anything else that you've done in your life. These are the sort of commitments you have to make, and you got to follow through on. So please try to, maybe if you're in that place and not sure how to personally improve, just first determine what it is that you even, kind of want to do. I mean, you want to be a painter. Being a painter and being just a cartoonist are two completely different things, so you got to determine what it is that you want to do. Being a character designer and being a background layout artist are two separate entities within this sort of industry, so you got to determine what is it that you want to do. So these are very important things to just really try to determine for yourself, and just work on it, and work on your own personal growth, and stay committed to it. Don't bounce all over the place like a little jumping bean of some sort, just going all over. Just don't do that. I don't see the effective growth pattern to that personally. I think it would be very frustrating, in all honesty. And stay committed. Again, yeah, it's the commitment, guys. It's the commitment. Again, I see so many people, and these people that go to school and they're getting themselves in all this debt and come out of there with nothing. Why? Because they have no real commitment. They're not saying that my portfolio is based around this. They're like, got everything and anything under the sun, including wrappings of gum or a tennis shoe, a rendering of a tennis shoe, a rendering of a tennis shoe, or a rendering of a crumpled bubblegum paper. isn't going to do anything for you in this industry, okay? There's going to be a real story behind it and just a real commitment and maybe just real development. And it has its place as a prop designer. But other than that, just please, just find your focus, make that commitment, start today. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, but commit and put in the time. This isn't a Sunday golf, Sunday fishing life. This isn't, I'm just going to be the Sunday fisherman. Hey, Sunday fishing out here. This is one time a week. Are you committed? Are you going to be the best fisherman in the world? Are you going to enter competitions? You're going to try to get the best fish and go through that? You're going to be a sailboat captain? Are you going to just sail once a week? Go on a, go on a sailboat and think that you're going to win the world, what is that? I don't know, the cup they have for winning being the best, America's Cup, for being the best, person. You're going to win the Super Bowl championship by practicing football once a week. It just doesn't happen. Tell me one profession, one area where you can just do something half-ass and be the top of your game. It's not happening. It's not happening. So don't even fool yourself. Don't think that you can get away with it because that someone's not going to notice that you're just half-assing it, that you're not really committed to this, that you're not even doing your construction drills, and practicing your construction. If you struggle, you're drawing hands. These are the sort of things. Well, I'm crazy today. Anyway, this is, guys, just commit, know your growth, set up that formula, and make it a great week. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life, see if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey, all right? So you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back.
Go back.
Great. Go back. Go back. Ha ha ha.